Thompson here with another lesson for you. Today we'll be talking about stem and leaf plots and histograms. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to display data in stem and leaf plot and in a histogram. Now, stem and leaf plots I believed you worked on last year in 5th grade, but histograms will probably be brand new information. To make a stem and leaf plot, the first step I like to do is order my data from least to greatest. Number one, we typically do that anyway because we like to be able to find the range and the mode and the mean and the median very easily. But it helps me when I'm creating my stem and leaf plot. So let's get started and try to order our data. I'm going to look very carefully and hopefully I won't miss anything. We have a 19, a 23, I thought I saw 23, 25. Remember, if you miss something, you can always erase it, but we're going to hopefully just do it quickly. 29, I see another 29, 30, 32, 33, 2 35s, 36, and a 44. Try to squeeze that one in. Now that I have all my data listed in order from least to greatest, it helps me determine where my stem and my leaves are going to be. Remember, a stem and leaf plot is the stem will be using the tens digit and the leaf is going to be the ones digit. Okay, so I'm going to start with my tens numbers. I see here I only have one of those, so the tens digit goes as the stem and the nines digit as the leaf. Remember our key, so if I have 2 on the left and 3 on the right, that would equal 23. So let's start with our 20s, and it looks like I have quite a few data points with 20s. So now for the leaves, I'm just going to write the ones digit in numerical order. This makes it really easy since I've already placed them in least to greatest order. I can easily write my 20s. Next would be my 30s, and I have quite a few 30s. Again, having them in order helps me write my leaves very easily. Make sure if you have 2 of the same, you put them both down. And then finally, I have 140. So we have 44. Now, it's pretty easy to determine the mode because I can see I have 2 29s, I have 2 35s. So my mode for this set of data would be 29 and 35, right? My range is pretty easy to determine because I would take 44 and subtract 19, and I believe you get 25 with that range. And even finding the median isn't that bad because I can use my data points here. Remember, I've already listed them in least to greatest order, so it's pretty easy to find my median. And here's my 2 numbers. What's between 30 and 32? We have a 31. So finding the data is pretty easy in a stem and leaf plot, but it condenses it so it's pretty simple to be able to determine. Remember to look for your key or place a key if you are creating your stem and leaf plot. So stem and leaves you've probably done before, but a histogram should be brand new for you. A histogram is a type of bar graph whose bars represent the frequencies of numeric data within intervals. Remember, frequencies means how many times does it occur, and intervals is how far we are looking. What's the spread of the data that we're looking for? Kim has started rating each movie she sees using a scale of 1 to 10 on an online site. Here are her ratings so far. Normally, we would have to determine what the interval is, but you'll see from our histogram, they've already determined the intervals for us. So we have a 1 to 2, a 3 to 4, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and I'm going to squeeze down here a 9 to 10. And I'm looking to see how many times, what's the frequency that she rated a movie 1 or 2. So I'm looking at my data and I see she has 1, 1. 3s and 4s, I'm counting all my 3s and my 4s, 1, 2. 5s and 6s, 1, 2, 3. How many times did she rate it movie 7 or 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 9s and 10s, it looks like she has 2. So we talked about it being a type of bar graph. Now you'll notice from a bar graph that the bars are individually drawn. In a histogram, our bars kind of touch each other. They're joined together a little bit. So if you look at my graph here, I'll start graphing these frequencies. In the intervals of rating 1 to 2, she had 1 occurrence. Now be careful because my scale is going up by 2s. So I know 1 is going to be right here in the center, and there is my data. 3s and 4s, she had 2 of them. 5s and 6s, she had 3. Oops, got that one a little large. 7s and 8s, she had 7, way up here. And 9s and 10s, she had 2. So there's our histogram. Now, unlike the stem and leaf plot, there's not a lot of specific information we can get from a histogram. Basically, I can just tell that the majority of ratings were 7s and 8s, but I really can't tell you what the mode is because I don't know if those were 7s or if those were 8s. It's only in the interval. So a lot of people think, well, why would I want to create a histogram? Most surveys use histograms to determine how they want to market their products. For example, let's take a look at the next histogram that we're going to create together. A running club records the ages of the club members who are running a marathon. Make a histogram of the data. Now, the reason the running club might want this data is they might want to determine when their practice schedules are. It's going to be really important because if I determine that I'm going to run practices at 3:30 in the afternoon because that's when school's out, that's not going to be very convenient for those people that have full-time jobs. So a great tool for marketing purposes is creating a histogram. Now, they have not given us any intervals, so we're going to have to kind of create some. It looks like 16 is my lowest and 58 is my highest. Now, if I go by 2s like Kim's ratings, my histogram is going to be very large and probably not very convenient to use. So with ages, I like to go by 10s. So I'm going to determine 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and you've probably done surveys, or your parents have, where they said, which age category do you fall between? Now notice how I didn't do 10 to 20 and then 20 to 29 because 20 only wants to be counted one time. Okay, so now I'm going to look for all the frequencies for 10 to 19-year-olds, and I have 1, 2, 3. This makes it pretty easy because I'm just looking for that digit in the tens column. 20 to 29, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 30 to 39, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 40 to 49, 1, 2, 3, and 50 to 59, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm ready to make my histogram. Now I see I don't have any frequencies here. I'm going to look at my data, and it's kind of like the number lines that we did in dot plots. My data spans anywhere from 3 to 6, so I'm thinking I can go up by 1s because that seems pretty easy. Now, if it spanned from 3 to 30, would I want to go up by 1s? Probably not. I'd probably want to go up by 2s or sometimes even 5s. My ages, and I like to write these a little diagonal because otherwise my blocks gets too crazy. 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, and 50 to 59. And I'm just going to create my boxes. So from 10 to 19, I had 3 of those. 20 to 29, I had 4. Again, your boxes are touching in a histogram. 30 to 39, I had 6. 40 to 49, I had 3. And 50 to 59, I had 4. So do you see why I probably would not want to have practice at 3:30 in the afternoon? Because only this amount of people would be able to do that. Otherwise, I've got all this data, and the majority of my runners are between 30 and 39. My second largest group of runners is between 50 and 59. It might also help me determine what kind of products I want to have or what size shirts I might want to order for the marathon. Good luck in creating your histogram. Make sure you let your teachers know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.